How do you start a book review video? Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. Reading this book for me was like watching the kind of film that isn't really your thing and you wouldn't normally go for, but you make yourself sit through it because you know it's of some cultural significance and you would probably benefit from having seen it. Not a happy story. It was kind of like Schindler's List, except that thankfully this isn't true, although one of the sad things about this book is that it could so easily be, and undoubtedly there are thousands of real-world stories out there that mirror the story of Emma, who is the protagonist in this book. Emma is not likeable, which apparently a lot of people have been disliking about the book, but having said Emma's not likeable, I kind of like her as a character because she's real and she has some character flaws. Anyway, long story short, this book is about a girl called Emma who gets raped, and it's about her experience over the course of that year and the year after. Yeah, it's really interesting because it covers a lot of topics like, well, mainly victim blaming, obviously. It's one of those things where from very early on, you can see where it's going and you don't like it. Right, like even from the start, right at the very beginning, when it's just Emma and her friends just having conversations, just like even the little things that are being said, like just the overall tone just makes you slightly uncomfortable. And I'm not going to go into the details of the book if you haven't read it. I might go into spoilers later on, so bear with if you have read it. But if you haven't, basically, like, it's not your standard rape, if there is such a thing. And I feel awful having said that sentence, but basically there's circumstances which make it kind of a special case. I read this as part of the Banging Book Club, which was created by Hannah Witten, Lucy Moon and Lena Norms, whose channels I'll link in the description. Basically every month we're reading a sex-based book, hence banging. But yeah, so this was January's. I think the thing about Emma not being likeable that I like in a way is that it makes you sort of reassess like how you value sort of people, and like people have this natural way of wanting to think that, like, you know, good things happen to nice people and bad things happen to bad people, etc. But there's all sorts of grey areas and, you know, regular people like Emma that have their character flaws that bad things happen to, and that doesn't mean they deserve them any more than, you know, Mary fucking Poppins would. And I think, like, even though Emma's not likeable, you can relate to her in a way. There's many things about her that many people might be able to relate to, like her attitude about her friend's wealth and her perception of herself compared to, like, her friends and stuff like that. Like, it's not like, I'm not saying any of that's necessarily good or bad, I'm just saying I really like how, like, honest it is, I guess. That's good, yeah, honest. At the start, honestly, like I've said, it made me so uncomfortable, and it was really, like, not depressing, but very upsetting to read, especially, like, oh god, trigger warning, if you've been through any kind of really traumatic experience, like, maybe don't. Any kind of traumatic experience? Way to be vague, Alex. If you've been raped, I would tread lightly with this, because, ooh. Yeah, anyway, so as I was saying, it was really upsetting and uncomfortable. And very early on, I was questioning whether or not I would ever want to read this again, or whether I'd want to keep it or get rid of it. And having finished it now, in a way, it kind of gets easier the further into it you get. So I think I'll be keeping this. I'll be reading it again sooner or later. Definitely recommending it. Like I said, don't read this for a light read, for some fun. Don't do that. But go into reading this like you'd go into watching Schindler's List. Themes. I know I've said victim blaming, social media, victim blaming, social media, mental health, general public perception, I guess, of personal events. That was good, and all of those things mixed together. Also, kind of like high school and jock and like popular crowd sort of culture, that kind of goes on a bit. It's like all these things intersect, and it's just really, really interesting. Yeah, like I said, it's very, very Emma focused. She's the main character, it's first person, obviously it's going to be, but there's a lot of other stuff kind of going on around her, and it's how all of that stuff interacts with her. That is the interesting bit. Oh, I loved her brother. Bless her brother. Oh, oh. Okay, so spoilers from here on out. I'm gonna go into specifics, so if you've not read it, bugger off. If you read it, stay. Okay, oh my god, the social media thing, like just the pictures thing. I thought it was very, very interesting, like how they were going on about how it was kind of sort of new territory and whether or, and like legally speaking, like I do wonder, like how is it, like how in that situation would it be possible for that to not count as evidence? Oh god, the Facebook page. Like, I think in a way, the pictures and the page were probably the most, or rather the least believable out of everything that happened. Like, I can believe it, because people, and teenagers especially, can be awful, but I'd definitely say that was like the most extreme bit of human depravity and awfulness that this book went to. People can be so awful, and it was like, I know it's fictional, but like, all the comments in this book that people make online and in real life from strangers, friends and family, it like I said, you'll know, it's really upsetting because all of those comments are things that could and would be said by real people. Oh god, and her mum! The entire time I was reading it, the quote on the back, the good boys really quote, I was waiting for it to come up for about the first half as I was reading it, and then like I kind of forgot about it, and I like forgot that that was like a quote, and then like right at the end, just and from her mum, oh, she's got that sort of sweep it under the rug attitude when it comes to anything other than, and I know that's the point, and I know she's fictional, but oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it makes you think as well, just because like so many things, phrases and comments are like thrown around during the course of this book, it really makes you think about like, well, thinking about what you say, because like, again, this happens in real life, just like the casual manner in which people will offhandedly say terrible things is, without even realising they're bad, is absolutely awful. So I don't know if that would really be a theme, it's just something I picked up on. I would definitely recommend reading this if you're remotely interested in like social issues and commentary and discussion. Even if you're not actually, like even if you're like, if any of these kinds of things never cross your mind, that is all the more reason to read this, just because it's so real, and it's awful how real it is. It's sobering, that's the word, yeah, definitely. Like, you just come away from it kind of like, It's not like your typical novel, you know, intro, conflict, resolution, journey, bigger conflict, resolution, conclusion, blah blah. It's not like that. It's just a narrative. It's just, this is Emma, this is what happened to her, this is how her life went for a bit. So I'm gonna finish now. Thank you very much for watching if you've stayed through this babbling mess. My name's Alex. If you'd like to see more of me in the future, then please subscribe to my channel. You're on it right now, there's a button there. You're not stupid, you know where the button is. Yeah, good all around. Good book. Good job. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you soon. Bye.